Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Nouval Fadillah, and let me tell you guys about the novel titled Inferno and written by Dan Brown, published by Doubleday and on May 2013. This novel has a total page is about 609 page, and the genre is thriller and mystery. So we start it. Okay, the first thing on this novel is about setting details and the time. The setting on this novel is throughout of Italy country, and the time is 14th century. Next is the main character, that is Robert Langdon. He is a professor of Harvard University that expert on the puzzle mystery. And Dr. Sienna Brock, she is a couple of the veteran Zobris. Dr. Elizabeth Sinsky, she is from World Health Organization. And the last is veteran Zobris. He is an expert on the genetics and the milliarder, but he is a dangerous person. Okay, the second character is Vayenta Marta Alvarez, and the next is Christoph Bruder, Jonathan Ferris, and the last is the Harry Sims. That's all the provost and have a mission to kill the Professor Langdon. Okay, the next is Ignazio Busoni, Mirsad Lawrence, Knowlton Giorgio, Fancy, Jonas Folkman, and that's all is from the World Health Organization. That's help Professor Langdon on this novel. Okay, next one is the last of this part is the plot of this novel. The first one is exposition. The Robert Langdon wakes up in the hospital with no memory of the last 36 hours, and he has to escape with the Dr. Sienna Brooks. Okay, the next plot is rising action. Robert and Sienna find the secret message in the painting that is the Battle of Marciano painting, and then they are search for the Dante death marks. The next is the climax. Robert and Sienna find out that a billionaire, which is the Bertrand Zobris, he had released a plague that can destroy half of the human population. Okay, the next part is falling action. Robert and Langdon travels to Istanbul. That is where he meets up with Sienna by accident and tries to find the cure to this disease. Okay, the last part of the plot is the denouncement. Robert and his new team, that is the provost, beforely hunting the Robert and want to kill Robert Langdon, find out that the Zobris use a vector virus, which is genetically altered DNA. Okay guys, now let me telling you the story of this novel. The first scene in this novel is the Bertrand Zobris running from the agent of World Health Organization and stuck in the top of building, but he chose to suicide and falling from that building. And then the next scene is Professor Langdon wakes up in the hospital, but he lost of his memory about 36 hours before, and being hunted from the provost team that named Fadillah, and but the Professor Langdon has flee with the help of Dr. Sienna Brooks. The story is continued in the Professor Langdon house. Professor Langdon and Sienna Brooks find a mini projector that show them the hell map floor that created from the artists on the past century, and that is the first clue of the puzzle. They realized that the Bertrand Zobris created a plague that can destroy half of human population, but the Bertrand Zobris doing and created this plague with the reason, because if the human population increase more, the population just can stop in about 100 years, and he wants to destroy it so the population can increase the fast as it. Okay, and then the Robert Langdon called from the World Health Organization team that they all want the Professor Langdon help they to solve the puzzle and trying to search the cure of that plague. And then Professor Langdon visit the museum on the Venice, Italy. Professor Langdon solved the puzzle from the painting of the Battle of Marciano, and then he needs to take or look about the Dante Death Max and the solved puzzle. Direct the Professor Langdon to go to Istanbul, which is the plague that created by Bertrand Zobris has been planted on that area. And then on the last scene, the provost team Beverly, that's before hunted to kill Professor Langdon, help Professor Langdon to prevent the Dr. Sienna Brock that she has broke his marks, that she is the couple of Bertrand Zobris, and she wants to launch that plague to make the dream of Bertrand Zobris come true. But on very last scene, as always, Professor Langdon can save the world again. So that's all from me. Thank you for the attention.